the leadership in our company love this guy. Could you tell that when they talk about him? Do you think it's the same way when the United States talks about our president all the time? That's my point, right? The company loves this guy. They're always talking, and they talk about him so highly, all the way from the very top. And I actually look forward to being able to develop a relationship with him. But let's bring up the president of WFG, Joe DePaul.
How many of you are coming back here in December? Huh? That's going to be big. You know, it's always, right? It's always great to spend time with winners and leaders. And, you know, Louise and I were sitting back. Let me tell you about my morning first. I already had one heart attack this morning, literally not. So I called Dan a few minutes ago because I started at a meeting this morning around 8, which is not early, but 8 o'clock, and I told the driver that I'd be out about 8:45, and that I needed to be somewhere right at 9. And when I walked out, he was gone. I'm like, what? And I call him, and he goes, oh, I thought you meant 8:45 tonight. I said, I'm not here to gamble, but, so that, anyway, that's my morning. And then Louise and I were just talking about, Louise just shared a story with me. She goes, you know, Ed Milet and I had a conversation a couple years ago. And he was telling me about when he was going to run to be the President of the United States. So I'm here to announce this morning that officially, Ed Milet is where he belongs, right at WFG, right? Right, Christopher? Hey, first of all, I look at this front row and we got some of the best in the business, not just with WFG, but I look at Paul and Brooke and Dan, and I'm saying, look, this is the finest, one of the most dynamic teams in WFG. Is, again, I look at numbers, it's second to none. And I know that it doesn't come easy, does it? You know what I respect about Dan Charlier the most? Is this morning when they said Dan's bass shop, stand up. Let's hear Dan's bass again. You know, not every leader at his level, with his experience, his expertise, his success, they forgot about the base, right? Real winners never forget about what? Bringing leaders into this organization and building a base is second to none, right? Take something away from that, because again, it's very normal in this organization. But I would tell you, when I think about all our opportunity going forward, one of the biggest concerns I have is we have some of our biggest leaders, some of the best in the business. They cool it after a while, and they cool it in the base. And Dan would say, you're probably going to hear that all day long. Don't ever stop building the base, right? The great Monty Home, Rich Stolley, and any of the great leaders that talk about over the years being able to build a team, build the dynamics of WFG. It's one of the most fundamental components of our business, and yet people cool it after a while, stop building a base, right, Dan? And again, that's what I admire about, winners like Dan. Is they never, it's like having your greatest players on the bench. It's like having Michael Jordan on the basketball floor, but letting him sit on the bench and just kind of observe. So if there's anything to take away from this, because I'm asked, and I'll share a couple of things this morning, what I lose sleep over, that's one of them. Our company's not wide enough. And I worry about that long term. So you know what? We can start fixing that yesterday, right? Today, that's why you're here. And I appreciate you being here, because obviously it's been a very dynamic week. But you know what? Winners are focused 24/7. I believe this. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to grow up in WFG. And I've been in the business 34 years. And if I have one regret in life, and we should never have regrets in life, right? But if I have one regret in life, that more than 30 years that I've spent in this great industry, I didn't get to spend it inside growing up in WFG. Because let me tell you something. Bar none, this is the best business model in financial services in existence today. I think about it. I was very blessed to be in this industry for that many years. I built a great business. I had an opportunity to sell that business. But when I think back about it, had I built my business here, had I been exposed to this sooner, than being a critic from the outside all those years, thinking when I was competing against A.L. Williams and people like that way back in the late 80s, thinking, why would you ever go over there? That's something that we all talk about. I don't even need to go there. But had I been exposed to that, had I been able to build my business here, financially today, it would have made a tremendous difference. Because I've studied this system like you can't imagine. Because I had to become a student of this system, right? Because I don't deserve to stand up here and talk about what they've gone through over that 25 or 30 years. But I guarantee you, I've studied this system. And there is no better system in existence today. And the things that we do different by design is the only thing that saves the industry. It's the only thing that saves the industry. Because there's 4 or 5 components to this system that are second to none in existence today, but the rest of the financial service world has never figured it out. And they never will. That's why these carriers and these partner relationships that are in here is why I respect them so much. Because we can't do anything without them, right? If every company out there had a chance to be in here with you today, doing business with you today, let me tell you something, they would bust these doors down to get in here. Trust me when I say that, because of what you're getting accomplished every day. So, you know what, my message is, boy, and I said that on stage, and I was doing that in your defense, because you're the heartbeat of this organization. You're the reason, the human capital in this room, our agents and our advisors that are properly licensed, focused on really helping families build this system and this business. You're the heartbeat of our organization. And then everything around us, corporate, regulatory world, carrier relationships, all the things that we have to really balance. That was my message to them to say, look, don't you ever, ever take this for granted. Don't ever compromise what we're doing. Because this is a well-oiled machine, and it is, again, it's different by design, isn't it? So when you think about just our compensation alone and how it works, second to none. I watch compensation break the rest of the world. And those fly-by-night little organizations out there that want to act like you, I'm telling you, they're going to screw it up for themselves just like the rest of the industry did. Because I can see them going already there. Yeah, Grant was dynamic, wasn't he? Yeah, that was big, right? But you know what? He's a little edgy, isn't he? But you know what? I got a lot out of listening to him. Yeah, and I happen to think that a guy like Dan Charlie is making 3, 4, and on his way to $5, $6, $10 million a year. That's a hell of a lot of money. But you know what? What I heard Grant say is, don't settle. You get to pick where you stop. Long enough to regain the momentum to keep going. That's my message. That's what I heard. Don't settle. He had something to prove, didn't he? Some of us can relate to that. He had something to prove, and not a lot of people around him believed in it. That's kind of what I heard. Nate, did you hear that? I mean, I heard some other things that, you know what, I'm going to share something too, because over the next years, I say years, we're going to continue to see individuals and be with individuals that have opinions. You know, Ed said that yesterday. Tony Robbins has some opinions in financial services, to be honest with you, that I don't necessarily agree with. He and I have some difference of opinion. But you know what? I can sure learn a hell of a lot. And I can grab what I can grab and do some things to make my life better and make this organization better. And that's what we're doing. So when we were talking about that a little bit this morning, yeah, that was a little edgy yesterday. Yesterday was probably the most edgy day that I've ever experienced in WFG. I can't tell you if guys, we're gonna go out and have dinner. Paul, we're gonna sit down. I'm gonna show you some of the email and text messages I've got the last 24 hours. It'll blow your mind. It's almost comical. I mean, it's like, you know, all over the place. But you know what? When I think about Dan, and you're going to hear from Eric in a minute, and other leaders, these great leaders you have here, let me tell you something. Yeah, they're edgy. Successful people are edgy. You know, some of the greatest people in the world are kind of goofballs. You know, Donald Trump is a very interesting guy. Whether I agree with everything he says or not, the reality is he's edgy and he's changing some things. Whether we like it or not, change is good. So let me just say something as I close here, so I want to stay right on time. Look, we are going to continue to be very bold, and we're going to play offense, aren't we? I said that, right? So yesterday is kind of a pattern of where we're going to go, because we're going to mix it up a little. We're going to get a little bolder, because we have to now. We've had a chance to kind of go through all this, you know, some of this regulatory change, and we're going to get all the way through that. And you know what? That's not even over yet. You know, I'm waiting by the phone every second to see when this DOL proposal is going to get extended more. We are very confident that it is. And the minute I get that, the minute I'm going to be back to this leadership group to say, now we can adjust this thing a little bit, here's how we're going to go forward. So we're in this thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what? It's a lifestyle. It's an opportunity. It's a privilege to be in business. And it's a privilege to be in business with you. I appreciate you, and I love you guys. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's still about helping families. It's not about the money. We know that. Do I want you to make a lot of money? Yeah. Because I want you to do things that make you feel better about a person, and yourself, your family. So you know what? It is just about families we help. And all the other things are byproducts, right? But get ready. I appreciate you. We're gonna continue to be a little edgy, but you know the reality is, we got to turn it up a notch. It's like your favorite song, right? I'll leave you with this. When you have a favorite song, right, you never change the lyrics, right? All you do is when it's time to listen to it, bring it up to another little decimal, right? I just turn it up a little. We're going to keep turning it up a notch as we go. Because you know what? We're going to be loud and proud. And the more we turn it up, the more people are going to find out about you and all the good things that this organization is going to continue to do. Have a great day. Thank you, Dan, for letting me come Wasn't that awesome? Ready? Whoa! Good stuff, bud. He said it's time to play. No more playing nice. Can you tell that WFG's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder now, right? Like, it's no more being nice, like Dan always says. No more playing defense, time to play offense. And that all starts with us individually. When we sit down on appointments, you gotta believe what you say. You gotta say it with some conviction.
And this next guy I'm going to bring up is the definition of that. Let me ask you something. I was just chatting with them. How many of you guys would like to make $1 million a year? How many, really, honestly, like, what would life be like for you at that point? Can you think about it? Where would you live? What would you drive? What would you save? Where would your parents live? What would your parents drive? Where would your kids go to school? Would things be different, yes or no? Yes. Check this out. This guy made $1,050,000 the last 60 days. So I did the math on that. I like to put it in perspective. That's $17,500 a day. Isn't that cool? Because man, how free are you in life like that, financially? I bet you 99% of the crap that bugs you right now would be gone. And some of it even health-wise too. Stress, all that stuff. I mean, man, 90% of the things that bug you all day that you think about would be gone if that was your situation, even at a year, right? Let alone $1 million in 60 days. And I know there's been a time when you had $1 million in a month too. And so let's give a big, huge synergy welcome to Mr. Eric Olson.
Such a great job, and I hope you guys know that you're blessed to be on this team with Team Synergy. You guys know that? Right? Yeah, I hope so. That's awesome. So I got some great things to share with you guys this morning, and excited to share this message with you. I was talking to my team about this stuff, and some of you remember at convention, I talked about the second half of this year needs to be the best half of this year. You guys remember that? Right? Who's ready to make the second half the best half? Yes? All right, good. That's what we need to make happen here. So, I'm going to give you guys 17 points on how you're going to make 2017, the second half of the year, the best half of the year. And I don't know if you guys know, but every single year, September, October, November are always the biggest and the best months. Right? I don't know if it's because of the Hawaii trip. I don't know if it's because we just got out of convention and everyone's fired up, right? Kids are back in school, you know, whatever the case may be. But September, October, November are always huge. And so the best thing you could do is go back, light yourself on fire, go recruit a bunch of people on your team, and turn all that recruiting into production, right? And turn all that production into cash flow. That needs to be the goal. So who's ready to, like, September, October, November, do something crazy, like go make $100 grand? Man, there's so many great leaders in this team. I'm just looking around. I see Francis Ho, Louise Haig, Steve Haig, Nathan Ireton, all the Jeff Brookshire, Paul Ireton, Christopher Schlayman, all these incredible, man, you guys got an incredible leadership team. I hope you guys know that. And man, just fired up to see you guys. So here we go. So 17 points to make 2017 second half the best half of your entire life. So here we go. Number one is, I want you to remember it takes 21 days to create a habit. It takes 21 days to create a habit. So something you need to do is you need to be consistent with your activity. And if you're consistent with your activity, you'll be consistent with your results, right? So what I do is I make sure that I'm making phone calls every single day, right? You got to front load your efforts. Like whatever you don't like doing, you need to do first, right? So if you don't like making phone calls, knock it out right in the morning before your day starts. Knock out some prospecting. But it takes 21 days to create a habit. So I'd recommend that you're making phone calls for 21 days straight. Or you're prospecting for 21 days straight. I always give myself minimums, like what I have to do every single day. And if you could commit to, like, I'm going to make 50 calls every day, but worst case, I'm going to do 10 calls a day. Where I'm going to prospect 5 people every day, but worst case, I'm going to prospect 1 person every day. I remember when Ed Milet said in a meeting, he said, if you can commit to do 3 to 4 personal direct recruits every single month consistently for about 4 or 5 years in a row, you're going to be a millionaire. And I was thinking to myself, you know, college football, doing double days and triple days and working a job and doing all this stuff. I go, man, that sounds a lot easier just recruiting 1 person a week than it did what I was doing before in sports. And so I committed to do that, and I did it, and that's how I became a millionaire in my 20s, right? You know, and now I'm 35, I'm getting old. But anybody 35 or younger? Anybody 35 or younger? Anybody feel 35 or younger? The rest of you? Heck yeah, that's awesome. It's all about how you feel, right? So I just want you to remember, I want to challenge you, like coming out of this convention, you know, by the way, I know you're fired up and excited right now, and I want you to know that's the real you. That is the real you. The energy, the excitement, the fire, that's when you make big decisions. Because people make big decisions at big events. So this is the real you. Write this in your notes. Never make a decision when you're down. Never, ever make a decision when you're down. Right? Right now that you're on fire, this is when you make decisions. Because if you want big results, you got to make big decisions. So I just want to remind you, number 1, 21 days to create a habit. And so every single day, I want you to prospect. And then it becomes a habit. Every single day, I want you to make phone calls, and then it becomes a habit. Every single day, get yourself on appointments, and it becomes a habit. All right? Number 2, you got to give yourself a minimum standard of excellence. There's no quotas in this company. Luckily, because a lot of people would be fired already, right? So there's no quotas, there's no minimum standards of excellence, but you got to give yourself a minimum standard of excellence. You know, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, who's your boss? You have to boss yourself. You have to be self-disciplined. You have to boss yourself and give yourself that minimum standard of excellence. So what I've always done, my minimum standard of excellence for myself is 5-5-50. 5-5-50. And what that means is 5 prospects per day, 5 appointments per day, and 50 calls per day. And that was my goal every single day. And then I always have a goal, and then I have a worst case scenario. Right? So you have a big goal, and then you have a worst case scenario. And so maybe your goal is 5-5-50, and then worst case scenario is like 1-1-10 or something like that, right? But you can't just end the day without doing anything, right? You got to make sure that you're doing that minimum standard of excellence. And then you got to play games with yourself. You know, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you got to say things like, man, if I don't do this, I'm going to get fired. Right? Or if I don't do this, I'm going to get demoted. Or if I don't do this, shoot, I'm going to fire myself. Right? And just give yourself that minimum standard of excellence, and that really, really does work. All right, number 3. I read a book recently by John Wooden. Anybody know who John Wooden is, right? Famous college basketball coach at UCLA, incredible guy. He said, if you want to be successful in your lifetime, number 3, if you want to be successful in your lifetime, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. You know, I know we're supposed to sell the dream to our team and sell the dream to our family, and you're supposed to do that. That's not a bad thing. However, when it's just you in the mirror, you've got to be brutally honest with yourself. So last night, what I did, Sandra and I were sitting down, we're talking about getting to the next level, earning our $5 million ring in the next couple months, right, knocking this stuff out, and we wrote down a list. Here's the 5 things that are working for us right now that we're excited about, and here's 5 areas of improvement. Here's 5 things we need to get better at, right? And we were just brutally honest with ourselves. Here's 5 things that are working in our business that I'm excited about, and here's 5 things that we need to improve, that we need to get better on, that we have areas of improvement. So if I'm doing that, guess what? We should all be doing that as well, right? But just be brutally honest with yourself, because a lot of people say things like, I don't know why I'm not successful. Well, guess what? If I had a camera and I followed you around for 24 hours, I would know exactly why you are where you are, good or bad, in your business. That's the bottom line. You know, it's what you do when no one is watching that makes you successful. I want you to remember that. It's in your office with the door closed and no one's there, and you're busting out 100 calls, right? That's the deal. So that's number 3. Be brutally honest with yourself. Who can commit to really actually doing that sometime this weekend before they leave? I'm going to be brutally honest with myself. I'm going to figure out what I need to do to be successful. All right, here we go. Number 4. The secret of happiness is progress. The secret of happiness is progress. So you got to enjoy the journey. Right? Some of you that you're not an SMD yet, it's all right. Go out there, go on a big run the next 3-4 months and go knock out your SMD promotion. On our team, we have a standard where you have to earn your $50,000 watch before we promote you to SMD. Right? That's our standard on our team. And at first, people didn't like it very much, right? However, now that's the standard, and everybody's doing it now. And people are running big base shops, and it's awesome. I just had 4 people in my base shop as MDs earn their $100,000 ring in my base shop. Right? That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Who would like to do something like that, like earn their $100,000 ring in the base shop? Would that be cool? Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Hey, I did that, by the way. I was 21 years old, and I earned my $100,000 ring in someone else's bake shop, right? And that way, now I'm able to tell that story, and now other people, and then I had a lady last night stand up in our little bake shop meeting, and she said, I'm not leaving the bake shop till I get my $250,000 ring. She's like, I'm going to break records. I was like, man, that sounds good, right? I'm like, all right. You know, hey, just to sell you the dream right now, I mean, pretty crazy. We just had a lady on our team, in our San Diego team, and she got paid $320,000 on last cycle, and she's an MD. Isn't that crazy? One cycle, right? You got to think bigger, you understand? You should have stretch marks on your brain, you're thinking so big, right? You got to have a bigger vision. You really do. But by the way, when I saw that, I was like, dang. And she's an MD, and she's 8.5 months pregnant. I was like, welcome to this new baby, right? That's awesome. So I'm fired up for that. So I want you to think bigger, right? When Dan and I started, man, this company's 100 times better right now. It really is. Well, something I did, and I've been here 14 years now. What I've done in 14 years, some of you guys can do it half the time. You really can, because our business is that much better right now, and that's exciting. It's a perfect time to be in business right now. Okay, good. All right, next one. What number are we on? 5. Number 5. You got to have a compelling vision, and you have to be specific. You know, and the Bible said, when their leaders have no vision, the people perish. You've got to have a vision. You've got to put it out there for your team. This is where we're going. Stop worrying about where you're at right now and start talking about where you're going. This is where we're going. This is what we're going to do. This is where I see our team. By the end of the year, we're going to promote 3 more SMDs. We're fired up. Here's where we're only 4 people right now. We're going to go from 4 people to 40 people by the well pole. This is what I see. This is our vision, right? What is faith? You know, I was talking to my team last night because I'm a church-going person myself, and I have a strong faith. But then I was telling people, what is faith? Faith is seeing something, believing in something that you don't see, right? Faith is taking risks, right? So how come there's all these church people, but they don't take any risks, right? Do they really have faith? Right? Think about that, right? You gotta have faith, man. You gotta believe in stuff that you don't see. I know you don't have a ring on your finger yet, but you will. You gotta believe it. You understand? And you have to really believe it before you achieve it. And you've heard that, but I want you to really believe that thing, right? There's so many examples of success. I love what Monty Holmes said. You don't have to be first, but you do need to be next. You know, that's the deal. Who believes they're next in this room? Like, you know what? Yeah. All right, good. It's my time to shine. All right, good. Next one. You got to flush everything out of your mind except recruiting and building. You got to flush everything out of your mind except recruiting and building. Recruiting and building, that's the deal. Now, obviously, you don't want to just recruit people and throw them up against the wall and hope they stick, right? You want to recruit and build leaders, and then you want to run a tight system to make sure those people obviously become clients, if it's suitable, and then they go out there and get field trained, and you're running a tight system. But if you really go out there and recruit people like our base shop is doing well, that's because we're recruiting 50 to 100 people every month. Right? We're doing big recruiting numbers. So here's my motto. Recruit everybody, cherry pick the best, and match up the rest. You should write that down. It's a pretty good one. Recruit everybody, cherry pick the best, and then match up the rest. And that's what we do. So we work with the 20%ers. And who are the 20%ers? The people that are committed, the people that are coachable, the people that want it bad, right? The people that show up, the people that are willing to meet me halfway. And when I do, and I see those kind of people, I lock onto them, right? I lock onto those people. Have you ever heard of the lock and go? Right? You spend 90% of your time with your top 10% of your people. You spend 90% of your time with your top 10% of your people. And then you go get them and promote them and develop them into a leader, into an SFB, and then you go work with their exchange legs, or you go work with the next wave. Right? That's what it's all about. You know what I find? A lot of people in WFG, they become what's called politician builders. They try to work with everybody. Right? They got 20 people on their team, and they try to spend 5% of their time with all 20 people. Guess who gets filled? Guess who gets developed? Guess who hits SFD? Nobody does. You got to work with your top 2, 3, 4 people, and those people need to earn it. Right? Those people need to earn it, and those are the people you lock onto. So if you really flushed everything out of your mind except recruiting and building leaders, you're going to get to the next level in this company. All right? You guys with me? All right, next one. Your goals need to be bigger than your fears. Your reasons need to be bigger than your excuses. You know, a lot of people tell me stuff like, Eric, I want it bad. I go, well, what happened the last couple of months? Well, what happened was my uncle got sick. And I go, I'm really sorry, that's terrible, but what happened to your business? Right? Well, my uncle got sick. I'm really sorry that your uncle's sick, but what happened to your business? I want you to know this. Champions perform regardless of how they feel. Write that down. Champions perform regardless of how they feel. Most people only start working when they feel good. Man, you got to work, you got to perform, you got to get after it no matter what. If you feel good, great. If you don't, great. You got to get after it. You got to perform. Your team is watching you. Right? Your team is watching you, and you got to be that steady leader. Remember I talked about the 3 progressions of leadership? You got to be able to lead yourself first. If you can lead yourself, then you're going to be able to lead others. Next one. What number are we on? 8. Good. You got to raise your standards. You got to raise your associations, and you got to start thinking bigger. Right? When I started, I was recruiting, because I was only 21, and I was recruiting a lot of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-olds. And let me just tell you something. Sadly, 98% of those people quit. 98%. Right? I have a couple left, Randy Sakaitos and Mario Peona, and they're awesome. They're EBCs. They're making $600,000, $700,000 a year. I mean, they're doing well, but it took them 10 years to get good. You understand? Do you have 10 years to wait? Right? For these people to go through puberty and like grow up and all this stuff, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you have, luckily I did, because I was only 21 and they were 20 and 19 and 18, so I had time to wait, but now I don't. Just so you know. And young people can make it here, don't get me wrong, but you can't act young. You understand? You got to start studying older people. But if you really understand this and you get this, like, are you willing to work hard in your 20s and 30s, and then for the rest of your life you can go do whatever you want? Man, I hope so. Most people aren't. Most people don't get it, right? And so, man, the young people, I love young people, but I just hope their mindset is correct. If their mindset is correct, they can be a multi-millionaire by 30, just like I was. Man, I hope you stay focused on this, because it's going to work for you. It really is. If you decide to dedicate and focus. You know what all my buddies who I tried to recruit when I was 21 years old, you know what they're doing right now? Exactly what they were doing 14 years ago. They're still living in their parents' basements. They're still at the club every single weekend. They're still drinking and smoking way too much. They're still exactly doing what they were doing 14 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Still working at Starbucks, still working at the mall, still working at the cable company, and this company's paid me over $20 million, and they're making 30, 40 grand a year. Isn't that sad? Hey, the choices you make determine the life you live. I hope you're going to plant your flag in this company. Right? This is not some little part-time deal. This is something that can change your life. I love what Dan said yesterday, man. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Don't waste it. Do you feel that it is? Man, this is your shot at the big time right now. Man, hope you're fired up about it. Next one. Next one. Time time. I wasn't always good with my time, but I had to get good at my time, right? We always talk about we have our faith and our family and our finances and our fitness and our fun and our friends and all this stuff that we got going, and it's kind of a juggling act, right? I call it spinning plates. Right? So we have our faith, spiritual responsibilities, our family responsibilities, our business responsibilities, all these responsibilities going, and all the plates are spinning, and then once a plate is about to fall, you gotta go spin it, right? Shoot, I gotta get a date night with Sandra in. Oh shoot, I gotta get that in tonight, right? But I'll get the base shop needs to get rolling. Oh shoot, the personal, right? I gotta go back to church. Let's do that, right? You know what I mean? Like, right? You gotta spin those plates. You understand? You can have it all. You can do it all if you schedule it in. Your best friend should be your planner. Your best friend should be your planner. That's your whole life right there. You can schedule it all in. You really can. Right? You can have it all. You can do it all if you schedule it in. Think about this. There's 24 hours in a day. You know, my football coach was from the military, and he said that it's a proven fact that you only need 4 hours of sleep per night. And he had us sold on that. So for 4.5 years, I got 4 hours of sleep per night. And he said it's proven that you can function on 4 hours of sleep per night. But I think you can function properly on 6 hours per night. You can function on 4 hours a night, but I think function properly 6 hours a night. So that's what I do every day. I sleep midnight to 6 a.m., right? 6 hours, and I got 18 hours to max out. Every single day. I got 18 hours to max out my life. So there's a couple hours with our 3 kids, a couple hours with Sandra, 4 or 5 hours on appointments, a couple hours making phone calls, a couple hours, you know, trying to get to the gym, a couple hours doing this, a couple hours doing that. Does that make sense? Right? You can have it all. Right? There's 18 hours every day. You know what most people do? They waste time. They waste a lot of time. You got 18 hours per day. By the way, if you're sleeping 8, 9, 10, 11 hours a day, you know they say if you sleep too much, that's a sign of depression. They say your goals aren't big enough. Your dreams aren't big enough. And I'm like a little kid. I can't go to sleep at night, and then I want to wake up at 4 in the morning, like fired up, because I got big goals. I got big dreams. We want to develop 1,000 millionaires on our team. And if we develop 1,000 millionaires by default, we become millionaires. And that's our goal, man. I can't be sleeping like that. I can't be sleeping. Our goals are too big. You feel the same way? Hey, man, you got to have big goals. You got to have big dreams. It's good. Next one. Dedicate the rest of 2017 to someone you love. Dedicate the rest of 2017 to someone you love. Maybe it's someone who passed. Maybe it's someone that believes in you, right? Dedicate, because I know you will do more for others than you will for yourself. Isn't that true? Right? You'll do more for others than you do for yourself. You know what? I have a list. It's on my desk. Here's the 5 people I really want to prove wrong. And here's the 5 people that I really want to prove right. And I have both in my life. Maybe your SMD or your CEO or your leader is one of the people you want to prove right, right? And it may be one of your exes, or maybe one of your guys on your team that quit, or someone else you want to prove wrong. I have that list. Here's the 5 people I want to prove wrong, and here's the 5 people I want to prove right, right? I have that list, and it fires me up. It fires me up. So I want you to dedicate the second half of this year to someone you love. Is that a deal? Awesome. Next one. You got to commit to champion schedule. You got to commit to a champion schedule. You know, we call it the financial industry giant schedule, or the champion schedule. And what that is every day between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. you should be making phone calls. 2 hours a day, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., you're making calls. Remember, the most profitable part of our business is duplication. So when I make calls, I have someone sit there and watch me make calls. Just sit there and watch and take notes, right? And when I'm prospecting, I take someone with me. Right? We prospect. So 9 to 11, we're making calls, at least 50 calls. From 11 to 1, we're out there prospecting. 11 to 1, we're out there prospecting. Right? At least go get 5 names and numbers. From 1 to 5, we're doing interviews and fast starts. From 1 to 5, we're doing interviews and fast starts. And then every night, 5, 7, and 9 p.m., 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m., we're doing KTPs. We're doing field training appointments. And I ran that schedule 7 days a week for about 7 years straight. And that's how I got to the top of the company so fast. right? But I understand some of you have a lot of commitments and a lot of kids and a lot of craziness. If you just run that schedule 4 or 5 days a week, oh my gosh, you're going to get to the top of the company real fast. You know, most people just work in spurts. Most people just work when they feel like it, right? If you can commit to that champion schedule and really run that schedule, oh my gosh, your business is going to absolutely explode. How crazy is it that people have their job, they're working for another man, and they're working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and then they come full-time to WFG, and they start working less in their own business than they did for someone else. That makes no sense. You got to run a champion schedule, and then you can do a reward and punishment system. Right? That's the next one. Number what? 12, reward and punishment system. If I run the champion schedule 5 days a week, Saturday evening, honey, we're going to dinner. Right? Sunday, we're doing a family day. After church, we're going to the park, kids, and we're going to have fun because Mama did the champion schedule all week. Because Daddy did the champion schedule all week. And you can do the reward and punishment system. But if you don't do it, guess what? Sunday is not fun day. Sunday is work day. Right? You got to get after it. If you don't do what you're supposed to do during the week, you got to get after it. So have that reward and punishment system. Right? Have that reward and punishment system. Like, I play little games with myself. Like, I'm going to buy this other new house. I'm going to buy a villa in Cabo right now. That's what we're looking at, right? And it was funny. We were in Sandra and I were in Cabo just a couple months ago, and I was negotiating with the real estate agent, right? The villa was like $5 million. I was like, what if I give you $4 million cash, like right now, right? He's like, dude, it's Mexico. That's your only option. There's no loans here, right? He's like, there's no loans here. He's like, you gotta pay cash. And I was like, shoot. I was like trying to negotiate with them. Anyways, that was funny, right? that was a true story. All right. All right, good. All right, so, that's funny. All right, what was that, number 12, right? We're on it, okay. 13, okay, good. 13, be a person of your word. If you say something, do it. Be a person of your word. If you say something, do it. Dad, I'm going to be an SMD. Awesome, right? I believe what you say, but actions speak louder than words, right? Don't show me you're going to go do it. Be a person of your word, right? Go out there and make it happen. Like when I say something, I do it, and I hope you feel the same way, right? You know, I want you to like write your goals down this weekend, and then at the bottom, sign your name and say, you know what? Because I said I would. I'm going to do this because I said I would. I'm a woman of my word. I'm a man of my word. I say it, I'm going to go do it, right? You know, one of the biggest compliments you give me, if you ask my leaders, you ask my mentors, tell me something about Eric Olson, you know what they'll tell you? Right? And I had to earn this. It took a while. They'll say, everything he says, he does. That's like my strength. When I say something, I'm going to go do it. I don't mess around. Like my word is bond. And I feel the same way. I hope you guys are going to work up to that. If you say something, go do it. You know, one of my guys recently in my base shop, he said, Eric, I'm going to be an SMD. I'm going to be an SMD. I'm going to get my $50,000 watch. And this is a stud guy, like a stud, right? And and I don't know, I was having a bad day. And I went up and he was like, tell me this. I go, hey, man. I go, don't even tell me that. He's like, what are you talking about? He goes, I'm telling you my goals, man. I'm fired up. I said, you know what? I don't trust you. He's like, what? He's like, we're friends too. I was like, I don't trust you. He's like, what do you mean? I go, you told me you were going to hit SMD 10 times over the last 2 years, and you never did it once. I go, I don't trust you. You tell me something, you don't do it. How can I trust someone like that? So be a man of your word. And I shut my office door. Right? And then after a couple of tears he shed, a couple days later, he's like, you know what, Eric, you're right. He goes, I apologize, man. I told you a lot of stuff. I never did it, and I apologize. And from now on, I'm going to be a man of my word. I go, show me, don't tell me. Show me, don't tell me. 2 months later, he did SMD and his $50,000 watch. Right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So sometimes you need tough love. Right? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So as long as you've got a relationship with someone, you can be tough on them. Right? My leadership style is 9 hugs and 1 jab. Right? 9 hugs, 1 jab. You know I love you, but you're not living up to your potential right now. Right? You know, I make sure they know that. All right, good. Number what? 14? Number 14. You become who you believe you are. You become who you believe you are. So you have to grow your identity. You have to raise your identity. The definition of your identity is what you feel you deserve. So if you feel you deserve to become a CEO of this company, you will. If you feel like you deserve to make $500,000 a year, you will. It was funny, one of my guys just came up to me, he goes, you see this green ring? I just got my $500,000 ring, and I'm fired up, this is awesome. I go, man, I wouldn't want half of anything. Right? He's like, what do you mean? He goes, that's $500,000. I wouldn't want half of anything. I want the full million. Right? He's like, oh, shoot, man. Yeah, right? Anyways, I just joke around with them, right? But hey, you only want the full $1 million? I got this $500,000 stuff, right? And remember, if you help others get to where they want to go, you're going to get to where you want to go. And that's how it works. Good. Next one. Number 15. You got to become disciplined. You got to be disciplined with your work ethic. You got to be disciplined with your habits. You got to be disciplined every single day, right? You got to show up to blow up, right? Become disciplined. Be a person of your word, right? Go out there. Make sure your team knows they can count on you, right? You got to like stand up in front of your team and go, I'm going to be here with or without you, but I hope it's with you, right? You know what I love about Dan Charlier? He is 100% all in WFG. All in, 1,000%. And there's a lot of haters. I don't know if you guys know that there's a lot of haters on me, right? Because we're coming up so fast. Dan Charlier has always been a friend. He's always been, just right there with me no matter what. And I appreciate that about him. Just so you know, there's a lot of haters out there, but Dan's always been right there. And I appreciate that about him. Dan, you cannot get Dan Charlier to say something negative. You understand? And that's a leader right there, right? Leaders are positive people. And I appreciate that about him. I really do. And I hope you guys do as well. I hope you guys do as well. All right, next one, number 16. Commit to personal development every single day. Commit to personal development every single day. My ritual, my habit is every night before I go to bed, I have to listen to at least 30 to 60 minutes of audio. Right? Sandra likes to read and I like to listen to audio because if I read I fall asleep within about 5 minutes. So I just listen to audio, right, on my phone, maybe YouTube videos or just audio, some books. And every night before I go to bed, 30 to 60 minutes, I'm listening to audio because they say whatever goes through you sticks to you. Right? So then if you're listening to how billionaires think right before you go to sleep, you're dreaming about that all night. You're dreaming about that all night, and then you wake up fired up. You wake up super fired up. Like I only had 3 hours of sleep last night, but as I mentioned, I was YouTubing how billionaires think. So I woke up fired up. I woke up super excited. Man, forget this billionaire stuff, that's old. I've been doing that for a decade. Let's graduate 7 figures and go make 8 figures, and then go become a billionaire, right? Go make that happen. We gotta think bigger, right? We gotta think bigger. All right, good. Last but not least, number 17, how to transform the second half of your year. Second half, best half. 17 things to transform the second half of your year. Last thing, you got to stop worrying about what other people think about you. Stop worrying about what other people think about you. It's none of their business. They don't pay your bills, right? Overcome your approval addiction, as Steve Seabold would say. At the end of the day, right, when you're worried about what they're thinking about you, at the exact same time, they're worried about what you're thinking about them, and then nobody gets anything done, and you're both broke. You understand? People aren't worried about you, they're worried about them. So stop worrying about it. When you go prospect someone, that's probably going to be the last time you ever see them anyways. Isn't it? Stop worrying about it. Call them, invite them, prospect them, talk to them, right? All you're trying to do is help them. All you're trying to do is change their life. Here's the deal. Every time I talk to someone about WFG, I feel like I'm giving them a gift. I feel like I'm trying to help them. Like I'm in the grocery store, and there's 7 grocery lines. All right, whose life should I change right now? Whose life should, yep, you. All right, buddy. How's it going, man? Nice to meet you. Right? You plan on working here for the rest of your life, you keep your business options open. Right? Would you like to turn your annual income into your monthly income? I'm not joking. Right? Boom, give me your number. Right? Give me your number. Go ahead, give me your number. I'm not kidding. I'm not messing around. This is my life. You understand? We're going to do big things. Right? You got to have that confidence. You got to have that conviction. You got to have that belief. leverage, right? Leverage your leadership. Leverage this company. Leverage that we just had Grant Cardone at our convention. Leverage that you're about to go hang out with Tony Robbins in a couple months. Leverage that you had a bunch of people making 7 figures and 8 figures speaking at this convention the last couple days. That's a big deal. Leverage that stuff. So do me a favor. Stop worrying about what other people think about you, right? Another thing is, stop saying stuff like, well, I'm just not a good recruiter. Well, I'm just shy. Well, I just don't like making calls. Well, it's just the way I am. No, that's the old you. You understand? That was the old you. That was the broke you, right? Going forward, you got to be bigger, you got to be better, you got to be better up, right? Hey, coming back from Vegas, man, coming back from Vegas, you got to be a new you, right? New you, new and improved. New and improved. We like you just the way you are, but we love you way too much to keep you where you are, right? You have a better version of yourself. You understand that? You have a better version of yourself. And I want you to know that I tell my team this, like, what happens if you're 80, 90 years old, you pass away, and then you go to heaven, and all of a sudden you see this guy, he comes up to you, 3-piece suit, sharp, gold watch, good looking. He comes up to you and goes, hey man, how's it going? And you're like, do I know you? You look familiar. He goes, oh yeah. I am who you were supposed to become. Man, I think about stuff like that. I think about stuff like that. You got to become the best version of yourself. You got to get better. You understand? God didn't make no imperfect people, right? You can go out there and get better. You can go out there and do better. You understand? This year, second half of this year, needs to be the best quarter of your life. Synergy needs to get to the next level. Would you guys agree? And it takes everybody. It takes everybody in this room, right? Because what I see happening is some of your leaders are doing well, and all of a sudden these leaders are taking vacation. And then these leaders start doing well, and then these leaders are taking vacation. What if all of you get together and go all out for the next 4 months? You shock the company. You understand that? You shock the company. Who's ready to shock the company right now? Hey, I only got a couple minutes left. I'm going to bring up one of my buddies real quick, just for 2 minutes. He's a senior pastor of a church in San Diego, and he's full-time senior pastor, but he just hit SMD out of San Diego. And this guy's a fireball. This guy's a fireball. He speaks in front of thousands and thousands of people all the time. I just want him to talk for a couple minutes real quick. I want to motivate you, inspire you, fire you up just a little bit, just for 2 minutes. He's a great guy. Please help him welcome senior pastor, Pastor Adrian Ewings out of San Diego, California.
Thank you. You can be seated. Just I don't have but much time. You give a preacher 2 minutes, you're in trouble, right? But it's great. I've been with Eric for about 5 years now. It's almost 6 years now, and just a great leader, as you always know. One of the first things I did was he took me to a CEO meeting and snuck me into a room, and Dan came in the room. I said, Dan, how you deal with black folks? Dan said, I tell him, if you don't have $100 and you're 44 years old, you got a problem. He said, if I gave him my Rolls Royce, you'd find that $100 for sure, wouldn't you? He said, I can't give you the Rolls Royce, but I can teach you how to get one, right? And that's the key. So I always will remember that incredible story. It helped me a whole lot. But I love being a pastor. I'm the senior pastor of the church. But at church, I get to talk about the pie in the sky by and by. But in this business, I get to talk about the cake on the ground while I'm still around. In other words, if God wanted me to worry about heaven so much, then he would have saved me and killed me and took me to heaven. So since he left me on the earth, there's something that I'm supposed to do. There's something. You're here for a purpose. You're here. Purpose is the original intent of a thing, or the reason why something was created. In other words, you're here for a reason. There's something that you can do that nobody else can do like you do it, how you do it. That's because you were designed to do it your way. People come to me a lot of times. People come to me and say, Pastor, I want to preach like you. I want to get up and speak like you. Hey, I say, that's awesome. They say, can you pray for me that happens? And so I lay my hands on them and I say, real quickly, I tell them, I say, Lord, I want you to bless them to have a son that has spinal bifida and almost died. I want you to bless them to have a granddaughter who has spinal bifida and almost died. I want you to bless them to go bankrupt. And they look at me and say, why are you praying like this? You're not supposed to pray like this. I looked at them and said, you want the glory, but you don't want to go through the story. See, some of you, we want what through the story in order to get the glory that they have. You can't, it's not just an overnight success. This thing is real, but you have to go through the pain to get through it and to get to it. And so therefore, the reason why Eric really wanted me to come up here was he wanted me to tell you that you are pregnant. You're pregnant. Fellas, I'm talking to you. You're pregnant. You're pregnant. You're pregnant with possibility. You're pregnant with purpose. You're pregnant with potential. You are pregnant. Well, some of you are in the first trimester. The first trimester, you just getting there, you're happy, you're excited about it, you just got in the business. But some of us are in the second trimester. Things are trying to, something inside of us moving, and it doesn't feel like it should feel. I'm not like I used to be. But then some of us are in the third trimester. We irritable, you know what I'm talking about. We don't want to talk to nobody. That's because you've been in the business for a little while and you feel like something is about to happen. I want you to look at somebody and tell them something is about to happen. Something, your life is about to change. Things are about to come to fruition. God is about to bring you to the level where you're supposed to go. Something is about to happen. Speaker, I'm just the midwife, Dan. I'm not the speaker. I'm just the midwife. I'm just the midwife. Dan is the doctor, but I'm the midwife. And I just came, and this is what they say after you get to that, they put your legs in the stirrups. And you sweating and digging into your husband's fingernails, and you're hurting him, punching him, saying this is your fault. And the midwife's job is not to be the doctor. The midwife's job is to hold your hand, and the last thing they're supposed to tell you is to push. And I came here to tell you that I'm not the doctor, he's the doctor, I'm just the midwife. I just came to tell you it's time for you to push. Push to SMD, push to EMD, push to CEO, push to EBC, push to your association, whatever it is, everybody shout push. Hold your neighbor's hand real tight and tell them it's time to push. I may not talk to you when I get home. I may not hang out with you anymore. It's because it's time to push to the next level. Somebody one more time shout push. Now, we're not in church. Last thing I want to tell you. I want you to die empty. The most valuable land on the earth is not the diamond mines of Africa. It's not the oil fields of Iraq. The most valuable land is not the shores of Malibu. The most valuable land is not Beverly Hills. I've been there. My wife, we ride through there and say, we're going to see Dan one day. I went to the office, and there's an old wood panel in there, an old office. They said, he's not here. Can't come in. That's not the most valuable land. The most valuable land, ladies and gentlemen, is the cemetery. Because the cemetery is full of people who died with their dreams inside. There's books that were never written, songs that were never produced. There's movies that were never directed. Because somebody died with their dreams inside. But I can't give you anything else. I just want to leave with you. When you leave this earth, Paul said, I'm poured out like a drink offering, really slowly over time. When you leave this earth, no regrets. I want you to die empty. I want you to give it all. I want you to pour it all out before you leave the earth, so that when you get finished, you can say, we fought a good fight. Kept the faith. God bless you. Thank you.
Not yet. You want to see you get crawling in, so don't want to see your absolute best. What, you want to get another 30? I can get another 50. I can get another 50 if nobody's on my back. I can get a dream. Even if you can't, you can promise me you're going to do your best.